Welcome into TexAgs Rewind, presented by Specs and the Rollo Insurance Studio. David Nuno here on Monday, December the 9th, 2024. Had a fun show. Jackson, your favorite part of the show?
Buzz Williams.
Why?
Because I think he's a great leader of men.
Okay. Was there anything in particular today that really caught your...
That he talked about?
Yeah.
Was he... Who's H when he's referring to H?
Henry Coleman?
Henry Coleman. Yeah, when he was talking to him.
H, yeah.
Starting on the bench,
yeah.
And just kind, or when he was... Is it Hefner?
Oh, Hayden Hefner. There you go.
Thanks.
I thought it was...
Huh.
Well,
Billy Liucci walking out on the rewind.
When he was talking about Hefner and how he's been in the program for a while and how he's just kind of been a glue guy, I thought that was a really good.
Which is all true.
It shows Buzz's character as a man and as a leader of men. That's what I thought.
I just wanted you to have the right guy.
Thank you. Billy Liucci making a rare appearance here on the rewind. Nick, your favorite part of the show?
Tom Hart.
Why?
He's a play-by-play man. That's what I want to do.
Anything in particular stand out about Tom Hart?
Tom Hart, I liked his analysis of the playoff bracket and the tweaks he would have made to the system.
I really liked Olin Buchanan because he's my partner in the morning. That and more, it's the TexAgs Rewind. I like the matchup. I like the idea of playing a name program. I like the idea of going to Vegas. I wanted Florida, but I'll take Vegas. Vegas was in the mix. I think
It's warm.
Yeah, it is warm. It was in your top. It was your number one, right?
I would rather go to Tampa.
Tampa, that's
which
right.
is awesome.
Yeah.
But Las Vegas is probably, and then I would have said Orlando, I guess. So I'm with you. I like going to Florida, but Las Vegas would definitely be in my top three, and it's photo finish. So I'm fine with Vegas. I'm going to have a good time. I'll probably release my inner derelict and spend some time at the blackjack tables and do the things you do in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's the interesting thing about this matchup is, when you look at the totality of the season, A&M has taken on some programs, buddy. Obviously, it comes with some programs when you play in the SEC. The expansion of the SEC added Texas to the schedule, but you start off with Notre Dame, you end with USC. I think if you want matchups, you got them this year.
Yeah, well, if you like brands,
yeah.
And you say, hey, any team that's going to play in one season, Notre Dame, USC, Texas, and LSU, just off the top of your head, that's pretty impressive schedule. Now, is it vintage USC? No, but it's not vintage A&M either. I like the matchup, like you say. It's a big name program, even if they have their issues. But that said, they almost beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple pick sixes failed them late. The thing about the bowl game is you wonder who's going to play, and you wonder who wants to play.
Well, I was thinking to myself, defensive line. Who's going to play on the defensive line? Because you got, I think, 3 guys in the portal. 3 of the guys could be in the NFL draft. That's a lot of your defensive line right there. There are guys, but I'm just saying that A&M, it won't be as hard as it was last year.
Yeah, the venue might help.
Venue might help, yeah.
Yeah, because you say, well, hey, if you're not playing, there's no point in you making the trip with us.
Mm-hmm.
And say, well,
do you think 18 to 22-year-olds look at Vegas the way 60-year-old derelicts do?
No, I think 21 to
22
to do.
Hey, I want to go into the Oregon thing that you were mentioning a moment ago a little bit deeper, because I think they got screwed beyond putting the buys here and there. Just as the number 1 seed, to have your second matchup your first matchup be the winner of 2 teams that could have been in your top 4 seeds, right? Ohio State was so close. Yeah. I know you beat them head to head. Tennessee's a team that nobody talks about, but they're freaking 10-2 in the SEC. That's your second round matchup. You look at Boise State, they may get Penn State or SMU. Georgia, I think, has an interesting matchup with potentially Notre Dame in the second round. Texas, if they get past Clemson, I think I like what Arizona State is doing. Of all the teams, Oregon has the toughest route.
Without a doubt, and it's not deserved. I agree with you. Your Texas take. We all knew that the 5 seed was going to be in the catbird seat because you get a home game against the 12 seed. Now Clemson isn't your typical 12 seed, right? I think they're better than that. Given they haven't been better than that on the field, but given their playoff history and experience and the fact that they've been there But you get an underperforming Clemson team on your home field. And then if you can stop the run against Arizona State, you get a pretty good chance of winning. I don't think Texas is going to put up 30 points anytime soon. I'm really actually disappointed in what they've done from an offensive production standpoint, but that's two very winnable games. And I think the Ohio State-Tennessee game is going to be a real intense, high energy, high wire, especially it's the last game of the first round, night game in Columbus. That's going to be an incredible matchup. I think the advantage Oregon has, and all of these teams with the bye, but especially, and this is kind of a backhanded compliment of a benefit, is that Ohio State and Tennessee are going to beat the snot out of each other. And they got to turn around and play, a week later. And Oregon's earned the chance to sit at home. But I agree with you. I don't think that's a fair matchup. I think there's got to be a way to guarantee Group of 5 access, which is the reason we have conference champions rewarded. It was the only way to get a Group of 5 access team, Group of 5 team guaranteed access. And I like that aspect of it. I mean, I think the March Madness is so incredibly popular because we have Cinderellas. We have 16 seeds and 15 seeds, and the 10 always beats the 7. So you have to have one of those elements in there.
And then I look at the SEC schedule and what the league's done in non-conference this year. How important am I wrong in thinking like these games feel more, when you win these type of games, they feel more meaningful than ever? Because I feel like this SEC grind this year is going to look a lot like playing football in the SEC, whereas everybody is going to get everybody at different points in the season.
I think it was versus Oregon at the one possession game with 4 minutes left. It was not, we lost by 10, but that was not the score. We had to foul the last 3 possessions. It was a tie ball game. Against Creighton with 2.5 minutes, we're down 1 versus Rutgers with, I think it was 3:36. We were up 1. Last night, the last media was at 2:56, and it's a 1 possession game. I've never coached football. I like football more than basketball, so I'm following all that has transpired across the country since Labor Day. Specific to our league, statistically speaking, in men's basketball, it's never been better, the SEC. And through 5 weeks, there's only been 2 other leagues ranked with this sort of numerical data after 5 weeks in the history of college basketball. Obviously, it's a zero-sum game. Once you get to SEC play, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. But I think if I did some research this morning just because I like the numbers of all of it, specific to us, but also just nationally, like the things that have happened thus far going into finals week, specific to this league, I think it speaks for itself. There's only one other league that's even played 500 against top 50 Ken Palm teams.
As far as Shamar going in, the scouts I've talked to all year, every time they'd come down to see somebody else and they'd call me on their way to their next stop going, Shamar Stewart, like number 4. Like, I remember this summer someone saying he looks like Clowney, but he's more gifted athletically. Now, he didn't have the production at Clowney, and that's where he could have come back and said, hey, you only had a couple sacks this year. You know, for whatever reason, you weren't finishing, finishing at the quarterback. There's no reason that number shouldn't bump up to 7, 8, 9, 10 with all the football you've played, and just put it all together, and your draft stock go up from like late first, early second to comfortably in the top 10. That's how talented he is. But the thing about Shamar, he works hard. He's a great person on and off the field.
Yes,
People rave about him that come through and meet with him. He's going to be a great pro. He's going to be a better pro than he was here. He stayed through a coaching change. He stayed through 5 and 7. He stayed through the down years under Jimbo when everyone in his class practically left. Everyone left. And Shamar Stewart is going to be, he and Le'Veon Moss will probably be, and I might be forgetting someone, I'm sorry, there probably is someone, but those two stand out as the only two in the number 1 class ever that are going to like come through, finish all the way, and be high level draft picks that lived up to the high 4 or 5-star national top 100 ranking. And he did it all the time with class. He played through injury, he played hurt, he showed toughness. I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes. In the NFL, people are really excited about him. He could be A&M's next first-round draft pick.
All right, Oxney, tell the people.
This is my last time doing this. I'm sad.
Your last day is Wednesday, but your last day on the show,
On the show.
is
Yeah.
today.
So for the last time, you guys are going to, well, not the last time watching the show, but anyways, you guys are going to want to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends if you enjoyed, which I know, of course, you did enjoy, and we'll see you next time.
Jackson, what I appreciate about you is obviously your on-air growth, because you didn't start off in the social center. You grew into that, but some of our conversations off the air. So thanks very much for your hard work, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.